Hey, what's up guys? My name is Untitled Chapter, and tonight, it's like 12 p.m. right now, I'm going to be making a quick little video about vocals. Now, I actually would not be sitting here making this tutorial if it would not be for my friend George. He does not leave me alone, and he's asking me to make this tutorial for him so he can learn how to edit his own rap vocals. So here I am making the tutorial, guys. So George, please leave me alone. All right, anyway, so vocals. Right here I have in front of you is my original track, Elevation with Vermont Sido. This is a really kind of heavily edited track, you know, so I have a bunch of effects on his voice, and I think breaking down the effects that I applied on his voice would be like a perfect example for you guys to show. So I'm not gonna play the track right now because it's gonna really lag. As you can see, the CPU is super high, so I can't even play it pretty much, but it will be available on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all the streaming platforms pretty much, so check it out some day in the future. But anyways, these are the vocals, so let me kind of show you how they sound completely dry with zero effects applied, and then I will kind of show you how you can get your vocals to sound like if you use these kind of basic vocal editing techniques. So let's check it out.
Best when I step on the gas on a different level. Nothing's gonna stop because I got it and I'm moving it up. What's up? Yeah, and I'm elevating as I'm moving up. And it's
so obviously, as you can see, it sounds pretty dry right here. And the reason is because there's like zero effects applied, right? So let me now show you how your vocal could sound if you would use some of these effects on your vocal. So I'm going to just quickly trigger all of them right here. So this is how it sounds with all the effects.
never stop chasing those dreams. I ask myself a lot of questions. Fuck the pressure. I took flights overseas. I took a risk. Through the dice, once in life you gotta take a chance and throw them right, yeah. They hit the wall and they fell down. Nothing else, got 6, probably 12 when I roll again. Stop me, you gon' see I'm the best when I step on the gas on a different level. Nothing's gonna stop because I got it and I'm moving up.
I mean, yeah, I pretty much get it. So as you can see, it sounds a whole lot better. And how do you achieve this effect? Well, it's not that easy as you think, to be honest with you. Every, vocal sounds, every voice sounds differently. So you're going to be editing your voice in a different way every single time, you know what I mean? So don't, copy exact settings that I use here. Rather make up your own experiment and try something different,
What's it gonna be once in life? You gotta take a chance.
Alright, so let's quickly just break down these effects. So let's see, I have an EQ here. So let me just kind of mute all of these first and just have this one effect here. So Vermon's voice is kind of sharp, it has a bunch of high-end frequencies. So what I did with the EQ is I lowered down the high-end frequencies, and then I use this really interesting technique where, for example, I go completely up like this in the EQ.
What's it gonna be once in life?
I just find like
What's it gonna be once in life?
the painful frequencies, where it sounds really like painful to your ears. And I just, slide it up like this, and then I slide it up completely down, and that will remove those unnecessary frequencies that will punch in through the mix in a really unpleasant type of way, So same thing I did here. And that's pretty much the cue here. So we got a little reverb.
What's it gonna be once in life? You gotta take a chance, rolling on your dice.
With some reverb, of course, it depends what type of style you're going for. But with these vocals, I wanted them to sound pretty detailed, nice, good quality. I didn't want to use too much reverb on there because too much reverb can actually ruin the quality of the vocal. So what I did here is I added slight reverb, and I actually have another separate rendered out vocal here that is really reverbed out. And this is pretty much same effects applied as on the main vocal, only it's much more reverbed out. So used minimal reverb.
What's it gonna
on the actual main vocal, but then I duplicated the main vocal and just kind of put it at the bottom and then reverbed out duplicated vocal. So that's how it sounds really full when you play them together.
What's it gonna be once in life? You gotta take a chance, roll.
So that's kind of a cool way to create atmosphere in the track, I guess.
What's it gonna?
All right, so the next effect is the multiband compressor.
What's it gonna be?
Here I actually just messed around with the gain knobs in every single band, so I've reduced the bass, kind of played around with the mids a bit here, and increased the highs, so it just sounds a bit more clear. So that was why I used that, just to kind of cut out some frequencies, put back some frequencies. As you can see here, I removed the high end because it sounded too sharp, and here I brought back that high end just to make it sound a bit more detailed, but it doesn't sound sharp, if that makes sense. Then we got W Productions Transient Shaper here, and this is not a free plugin. I work with W Productions, so they kind of gave this to me to just experiment using my own tracks and stuff like that. So but pretty much I use this Transient Shaper for one purpose, and that is to make the vocal sit in the mix, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? So I kind of lowered down the input here and the output.
What's it gonna be once in life? You gotta take a chance, roll.
Now it doesn't really make such a big difference when you just mute it like that and unmute it, but once you actually put it on top of a beat, it really does kind of compress it nicely and kind of blends it in with the instrumental, if that makes sense as well. So that's why I used the transient. And then we got also another third-party plugin, which is the auto-tune right here, and I used minimal auto-tune, really didn't use that much. I just kind of put the retune speed to 40, humanized it to 50. I just chose alto tenor. That's a really weird word. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, you know. The way he raps, it's not really auto-tune based, so auto-tune was kind of unnecessary here, but I just used it for fun, just in case he sang or rap off tune, you know, auto-tune will correct that. And then we got a little delay going on here.
What's it gonna be once in life? You gotta take a chance, rolling on your die.
Also really minimal, like I said in this track, I wanted to sound really clear. I want his voice to be not too reverbed out, so that's why I used minimal amount of delay and reverb. And as you can see here, it's barely even active here. And I did automate it in some points where it kind of comes back, you know, like for example this spot.
Who's the boss? What's up? What's it gonna be?
You know, so that's why I used the delay. But this delay is not active throughout the whole track. I just kind of automated at some points, and instead I use, like I said, this additional copied main track. All right, so the next one we got a compressor. Now with this compressor, I just used it to make it sound a bit more louder. You know, this doesn't really make it sit in the mix. It just makes it sound louder, and that's pretty much it. Then I used another third-party plugin called the Flanger right here. It's a really cool plugin from Blue Cat's Flanger. You know, this is a really interesting effect.
Once in life, you gotta take a chance, rolling on your dice, ain't nobody gonna stop you as you roll on your
boat. So that's kind of a cool effect you can apply to your vocals when you're rapping, especially. So George, you're about to get Flanger, man. So yeah, you can also use a different flanger built in FL Studio. You can use, let's see here, right there. You can pretty much create the same effect as with the third-party flanger. I just kind of like this Blue Cat flanger a bit more. Just more simple, I think, and has way more presets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I use the flanger to make it sound a bit more robotic, but I did reduce the volume to like 55%. So it sounds like robotic and human at the same time, you know. And then again, we have another compressor, and a bunch of you guys are probably raging out that I have like 3 compressors on here, but it's not a big deal if you know how to correctly use compressors. So with this compressor, this is actually one of the most important effects in this vocal edit, I guess.
Be once in life, you got. Be once in life, you gotta take a chance, rolling on your dice, ain't nobody gonna stop you as you roll on your boat, take your flight.
I use this compressor with a complete different purpose as the other ones. So the first one was to make it sound a bit more detailed. The second one was to make it sound louder. And then the third one is to de-ess it. Now, if you don't know what's de-essing, it's pretty much a process where you remove that s sounds. As you can see, this sounds really painful and sharp. You know, so you don't want to have that in your track. So I use this as a de-esser. Now, how you can use de-esser is pretty much you go to here, you click on multiband compression, and then I just kind of bypass the low and the mid band, and then I messed around with this thing right here. I don't know, I'm not too sure what this is, until I kind of found the S sounds where they're peaking, and then I just kind of lowered it down. And then I think, what did I do else? Yeah, I messed around with the threshold, the ratio a bit here. Usually what I actually do is I de-ess my vocals manually, where I would, for example, go to the vocal like this, to Edison, and then I would just click on the spectrum right here, and then I kind of zoom in a whole bunch, and I just kind of see these places where it's really red, like this, for example. That's an S sound, and you want to remove that type of an S sound. So moving on, we got the last effect is the delay again here. So as you can see, I have two delays. This delay I used in a couple of parts just to automate it, and this delay is actually active all the time.
Be once in life, you gotta take a chance, rolling on your dice, ain't nobody gonna
Again, not too much, you know, really subtle kind of delay just to create that vibe. So guys, that's pretty much how I edit my vocals. Like I said, every track is different, so you don't want to be copying the exact settings that I have here. And yeah, guys, don't forget to de-ess your vocals, add some compression, reverb, and all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.